the ladies and girls. My name is Jalen.
I'm Jexsilenny McKenie.
I'm Ava Washington.
I'm Kayla Forney.
I'm Jasmine Smith.
And today we will be presenting our case study to you. Our topic is food insecurity. It's a topic not many people know about. And we stumbled upon it in our reading class while discussing a book. It was one of the main topics in the book, and when we did further research, we would have never guessed how global it is. We want to share this topic with you, so you can also see how it affects all of us.
So what is food insecurity? Originally, it was used to describe the instability of national or regional food supplies over time. But now, it has gone to even define the status of the home. Does anyone know why the climate will be a factor in the food crisis?
Does anyone know? Can anyone take that?
Yes.
Cause it's like if it's real hot, then the food can like it won't be good. Like it won't have the right amount of nutrients or something. And if it's cold, it can like freeze it and it won't grow. It'll just be real cold. It won't grow. It'll be bad for you and they sell it, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're definitely on the right track. So climate is a big part of it because if there's a drought or if there's a flood or anything, farms can't produce enough food. And with that, how are we going to get food? How are we going to eat? Other causes of food insecurity is urban development, population growth, and oil shifts and poverty. So does anybody know what's going on with the gas and oil right now?
Going up.
It's going up. And what else goes up when gas prices go up?
Food.
Exactly, because they have to transport it somehow. And not everyone can meet those levels of, they can't rise with the gas prices. So people who don't make enough, what happens to them?
They suffer.
They suffer because they can't pay the prices for the food, and that leads to them cutting their diets and sometimes even going without food.
The issue started when gas prices got higher. If the gas price rose, the food prices rose in the markets. It's not only hurting the United States, but it's also hurting many developing countries such as Somalia, North Korea, Yemen, and Burundi. Not only is gas price a problem, but global warming is as well. With the rising temperatures, farms are not producing as much due to flooding and droughts. And with the population of growing, farmers cannot keep up with the amount of people to feed.
So these are just a few statistics. In North Korea, 1/3 of the population is undernourished, and food prices have rose up to 70%. In Yemen, 36% of the population is undernourished, and wheat prices have doubled. Worldwide, 2.1 billion people live on less than $2 a day. Another 880 million live on less than $1 a day, leaving them not able to afford prices for food and plunging into malnutrition and starvation. In Guatemala, income inequality is amongst the worst in the world, with the indigenous communities at particular disadvantage. In some regions, an estimate 75% of the children from infants to the ages 6 and 7 are chronically malnutrition. It is a startling example of food scarcity in a country a mere 4-hour flight away from the U.S. So this is just a graph showing like in what regions have the most poverty and have the worst food scarcity. And here's a short video. Hopefully everyone can hear it.
Food insecurity is not knowing if you'll have enough food to eat today, tomorrow,
Can I see
or
or if you're a farmer, when food
Can you
and
hear it?
harvest runs out, the most extreme form of food insecurity is famine. If I'm food secure, I always have enough calories and the right kinds of food to lead a healthy and active life. Floods and drought make farmers vulnerable to losing their source of food or income overnight. Conflict forces people to flee their homes and reduces the amount of food farmers can grow. International trade rules can hurt local farmers and entrepreneurs by putting them out of business and cutting jobs. Most poor farmers don't own the land they farm and risk losing it. When governments don't invest enough in local agriculture, countries produce less food and depend more on imported food. The poor spend up to 80% of their earnings on food, so any rise in food prices means they have to cut back on the number of meals they eat. If you grow up without enough food, your body is weaker and you'll find it harder to escape poverty. Your kids are likely to grow up hungry too. But the world produces more than enough food to feed everyone. The challenge is to make sure everyone can access it.
Okay. So with the information we've given you guys, who do you guys think who has the fault in this food scarcity that the world is going through? Anybody know?
It's just natural cause. I don't think nobody's fault.
In the oil company.
Hmm?
The oil company.
In which country? Well, when Bush was president, he claimed that it was India's fault. India is one of the world's richest countries right now. And what he claimed was, since the middle class is growing, demands in their food is growing too, which is not true. The actual cause of it is when Bush was president, he decided to stop using farmland for farms and instead using it to produce oil, which cut back on our farmland, which cut back on our food. And not only for our food, but globally too, because we have a major part in exporting to other third world countries. So it's actually the US. Anyone have any questions? Does everyone understand what food insecurity is? Does anyone need me to explain it again?
Yes.
You do? Okay. If you have enough food in your house, your household has enough money to purchase food, and every month or whatever you get paid, that's food security. You have the basic needs to live. You have your diet is okay. But once you don't have enough money to pay for your food and you don't have food coming into your house, that's food insecurity.
It's like basically you're not sure of how you're gonna eat or your family's gonna eat. For somebody that's living in middle class or have enough money to eat, they're not worrying about food because they know when they get home they're gonna eat. Food insecurity, they don't know when their next meal is. So when they do eat, it's like they eat a lot and that causes the next thing is obesity in children because they eat a lot because they're based off food insecurity.
Because they eat what?
Because they would, like with food insecurity, with people who are in food insecurity, they don't know when they're gonna get their next meal. So when they do eat, they eat a lot because they're thinking mentally that I'm not gonna be able to eat for the next week or next 2 weeks or whatever. So then that ties in with obesity in children.
It's just having that mentality of when am I going to get my next meal because your money is not secure.
Right.
So what are some solutions that are in place to combat this problem? Do you have any statistics saying how much of a problem it is in the United States or?
Yes.
So what are some of the solutions?
Some of the solutions they're coming up with is they're trying to create more farmland in countries further up in Europe. But the problem with that is that messes up with our climate even more. Cutting down more trees, that tampers with the temperature. So it's we could solve the problem, but further down in the road, another problem is going to arise. So what do you do then?
What are some of the other things that the government has put in place to prevent, in other words, to prevent starvation, in other words? If I can hear from the other two ladies on panel.
like the food stamps program, like that's part of it where people get money to like get food.
And there's some organizations that fund the food shelters and homeless shelters that's around the United States to help them get more food.
Oh, the statistic that you asked about, in the U.S. households, only 85% of them are food secure, as in they know when they're going to get their next meal and they have enough money to purchase what they need. Households with low food security is 8.9%, and households with very low food security is 5.7%. And now we're going to give you guys a little quick quiz.
Does anybody know the definition of food insecurity?
I know we ain't gonna get that mixed up.
Who's talking?
That's correct.
What caused the crisis?
Oil and gas prices going up.
What was the first part?
The increase of oil and gas prices.
That's one. Anyone know another one?
Poverty.
That's another one.
What?
Another, like, they stated 2 causes for the crisis. Is another one. She said the increase in gas and oil prices. And
She said poverty.
That's another one.
I need names real quick. I was right. Adrian, Corbin.
Climate change. And there's,
You mentioned something about farmland. Was it the increase in like the production?
is an increase in the population.
I didn't mean increase. I meant to say decrease.
Oh, right.
I'm
It's a
sorry.
decrease in farmland and an increase in populations, and farmers can't keep up with the amount of people.
Who was mainly affected by this crisis?
The youth,
And
the people.
it's global. The U.S. included, and a lot of third world countries.
What are some ways that you would make it better?
Make it better. Food drugs, like she said.
Increase.
Donate money.
Great.
Food.
A lot of people have started to actually make their own gardens in their backyards and like produce their own foods, and that's another way to do that too.
Yes.
And in conclusion, we would like to thank you all for participating and giving us your attention. And you can participate in the crisis by helping out with food drives or donating money. And